Okay, let's be real. Artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's writing code, it's creating art. I mean, the hype is absolutely massive and for good reason. But, and this is a big but, amidst all the excitement, we have to talk about what AI can't do. Because, understanding its limits is actually the key to using it right. So, where does the machine stop? And, well, where do we begin? Let's dive in.
So, I'm going to start with a big question for you. What can't the world's smartest minds do? And I mean, like the absolute smartest, ones pushing the very frontiers of what's possible. What are those problems that just seem impossible to crack?
But here's the twist. The minds I'm talking about, yeah? They're not human at all. They're AIs. And that's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're pulling back the curtain to look at the real fundamental weaknesses and the hidden boundaries of artificial intelligence based on what we know right now.
All right, first up, let's talk about what you might call the human spark. You know, that ghost in the machine, or in this case, the lack of one. We're going to dive into those things that for now are just, well, they're just us. Things like emotions, a moral compass, and that brilliant flash of real, honest to goodness imagination. So, you've definitely seen those incredible AI images, right? Or read some text that an AI wrote and thought, wow, that's so creative. But here's the thing we have to understand. When a human creates something, it comes from a real place, an idea, a feeling, a what if. But AI, think of it as the world's best remix artist. It's not creating something new from scratch. It's just brilliantly mashing up and reassembling all the patterns it learned from the mountains of data it was trained on.
Yeah, it really boils down to this. AI generates, it doesn't imagine. And that is a huge, huge difference.
And it's not just imagination either. There are other big pieces of the human puzzle missing. Like, an AI can learn to detect when you're sad based on your words or expressions. But does it feel sadness? Does it understand what that means? Nope. And ethics? Same deal. An AI can follow a set of rules you give it, sure, but it doesn't have a moral compass. It's just running code, not actually thinking about right and wrong. Okay, so that's kind of the philosophical side of things. Now let's pop the hood and get a little more technical. Let's look at the actual nuts and bolts of how these systems really work, and more importantly, where they fall short. Okay, this one is huge. Bias in AI. You hear about it all the time, but here's the catch. AI isn't just biased on its own. It learns it from us. It's like this chain reaction, right? Step one, our society has biases. We all know that. Step two, we create tons of data, text, images, you name it, that has all those biases baked right in. Step three, the AI learns from all that data. And the result? The AI spits our own biases right back at us, and sometimes it even makes them worse. It can amplify them and it makes them look like objective, data-driven fact. And that leads us to another really tricky problem, the black box. Imagine you put some information into a box and a decision comes out the other side, but you have no idea what happened inside the box. That's a lot of modern AI. We know what goes in, we see what comes out, but the why is a total mystery, sometimes even to the people who built it. So if an AI denies someone a loan, how do we know why? How can we check it for fairness or fix it? It makes holding these systems accountable incredibly difficult. And let's not forget, maybe the simplest, most fundamental limit of all. AI is completely and totally dependent on data. It doesn't have common sense. It can't reason about something it's never seen before. It's a machine that needs a constant diet of information. And if you feed it junk data, well, you get junk results. It's really that simple. All right, so we've talked about the human spark stuff and the nitty-gritty tech stuff. Now let's connect the dots. What does all this actually mean for us, in the real world? What's the impact on our actual lives? Here's a question I bet is on your mind. With all the fake news and misinformation flying around, can't we just use a super smart AI as our ultimate fact checker? Can it just, tell us what's true? The answer, and this is really important, is a hard no. See, an AI doesn't understand the concept of truth. It just understands patterns. So if a lie shows up over and over again in its training data, especially if it looks like it's from a reliable source, the AI will learn it as a fact. And it'll repeat that lie back to you with complete and total confidence. So this all translates into some very real constraints we have to deal with. At work, yeah, AI is amazing for automating repetitive tasks. But you still need a human for those tricky judgment calls and that creative, out-of-the-box thinking. And its reliability? It can be great until you throw it a curveball, something new it wasn't trained on. then its performance can just fall off a cliff. At the end of the day, it still needs us, humans, to guide it, feed it, and teach it new things.
So, knowing all this, what's our move? This brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. What is our role in all of this? How do we shape where AI goes from here? Probably the best way to look at it is like this. AI is a superpowered specialist. It's incredible at crunching numbers and finding patterns at a speed we can't even imagine. But we're the generalists. Our strengths are totally different. True understanding, making ethical calls, and emotional intelligence. The goal here isn't about AI replacing us. It's about collaboration. And that's really the big idea I want to leave you with. We've seen that AI isn't some magic, all-knowing oracle. It has very real, very clear limits. So the question we should be asking isn't, when will AI surpass us? The real question is, how are we going to use our own unique human strengths, our wisdom, our ethics, our imagination, to guide this incredibly powerful tool toward a future that actually benefits everyone? That's the challenge for all of us to answer.